Today we're going to talk a little bit about sentence variety, which is the spice of writing. And you can kind of think about this like food. So a peanut butter and jelly sandwich, it's really good. It's fun to have a peanut butter and jelly sandwich, and you could maybe eat them every day. But think about if you ate them 3 times a day, every week, every month, every year, the rest of your life. You'd probably get really sick of peanut butter and jelly. So the same thing holds true in our writing and our reading. We want to see a variety of sentences. For example, take a look at these sentences. These are all about the same length and the same pattern, and they're boring. Today is a nice day. The temperature is moderate. The sun is shining a bit. The clouds are fluffy. So what we need to do in order to fix a little paragraph like this is we need to make some of the sentence long, some of them short, change the pattern. So let's talk first about the different patterns of sentences. There are basically 4 different types. The first type of sentence pattern is called the basic statement. And a basic statement is simply the subject, the verb, and an object. Sometimes it's just a subject and a verb, but it is the sentence boiled down to its most basic elements. Here are some sample basic statements. I had a cat. My cat's name was Elliot. He was orange and yellow. I miss him. And in that final sentence, I miss him, you can see I is the subject, miss is the verb, him is the object. So we don't have other phrases hanging all over the sentence. We don't have a big phrase before the subject or after him or in the middle of the sentence. We just have those very basic elements. And these are fine. You should use these sentences. You just can't use them all the time. It's like too much peanut butter and jelly. The second type of sentence is called the periodic sentence, and the periodic sentence is a basic statement, but it has details added in between the subject and the verb. So you know a period causes a stop at the end of the sentence, so a periodic sentence is something which has a stop in the middle of the sentence. Here are some sample periodic sentences. My cat, which was named Elliot, was orange and white. Okay, you can see there that the basic statement is the sentence if you leave out the clause in the middle. So underlined in yellow is a little clause. So the sentence without that clause would be, my cat was orange and white. That's a basic statement. If we add some details in between the subject, my cat, and the verb, was, we suddenly have a periodic sentence. This is really good. It adds variety to a paragraph. Our second sentence, same thing, also periodic. That fuzzy cat with a gigantic purr was very sweet. Again, you can see that the part underlined in yellow can be left out, and that gives us a basic statement. That fuzzy cat was very sweet. And by putting these details into the middle of the sentence, we just interrupt that pattern a little bit. Not only is it longer, but it actually has a different pattern, and so our reader feels more entertained. It's just a more interesting way to write. A third type of sentence is called the strung-along sentence, and a strung-along sentence is a basic statement that has details added at the beginning or at the end of the sentence. Here are some sample strung-along sentences. Although he's no longer alive, Elliot was a great cat. The basic statement there for number 1 is Elliot was a great cat. But we added a clause at the beginning, and that little clause, it's unnecessary for a complete sentence. It just gives us a little bit more detail. So by adding that at the beginning, we have a strung along. If we added that after the subject, it would be periodic. So the periodic version would be Elliot, although he's no longer alive, was a great cat. But we have it at the beginning, and so it's strung along. You could also add that at the end, which would be another strung along. Elliot was a great cat, comma, although he's no longer alive. Sentence number 2, he was a frisky beast who rolled over on command. And so the first part, he was a frisky beast, that could be a complete sentence, that would be a basic statement, but with the who rolled over on command, we now have a strung along. The fourth kind of sentence, really the final one, is the combination sentence. And the combination sentence is a periodic sentence which also has strung along details. So those strung along details can be at the beginning or at the end or both. So take a look here at this sentence. Elliot, my furry little monster, was a great cat, though he died way too young. Our basic statement here, if we leave out the middle phrase and then the last one, the basic statement was, Elliot was a great cat. My furry little monster makes it a periodic sentence because that part is added between the subject and the verb. The final phrase, though he died way too young, makes it a strung along sentence. So when we have strung along details and periodic details added to a basic statement, we have the combination sentence. These are long, and like all of the other sentence types, you just want to use them every once in a while, but you make a nice mix of these in your essay, and you're going to find that the rhythm sounds better. The whole thing, even if you don't even change any of the content, the whole thing sounds better. So the key to remember is variety. Variety is the spice of life. Variety is the spice of writing, and this is something that's really going to improve your work.